A very good morning to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the second day of October 2023. It is a day that is known as the Day of Non-Violence, and this is based on the story of Mahatma Gandhi, who was born on this day. And so non-violent approach to ways of how to articulate your concerns is what is being celebrated today. And also this week, this is something that's going to be the focus of our business desk, just to mention, is that it is also known as the Customer Service Week. The first week of October of every year is when firms reach out to their customers and get reviews that will be taking there. And also bipartisan talks at Bomas and the unveiling of the new Council of Governors leadership. But at the moment, going on at Arthi House, we've got the national launch of the cashless revenue collection policy. And speaking is Principal Secretary Nixon Korir. Let us listen in to this event that is going on right now.
The challenge has been we had not developed the systems that run the famously Ardesasa, but the fabric, which I called it the cadastre, had not been developed. And for it to be developed, there are cores that are required. That is the points of reference by the surveyors to develop the cadastre and the amendments of the maps, the RIMs, which is the process now that we are undertaking, the status of digitization, so that we can see that which county, for example, or which registry is ready, so that we don't really focus on a registry that is 10% ready, while there is a registry that is 70% ready, so that we can now be able to prioritize well and say we can be able to complete 20 registries or 20 counties in this financial year and then progress to the next. So that is on the timelines, the actual timelines we'll get when we finish this reconnaissance and we know the status of the registry, that we can give you accurate timelines. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bwana PS. Madam Lois Bosire, tunakutambua, Deputy Director ICT. Asante sana. So now we have the opportunity to take a group photo with our CS and PS.
So the event that you saw is the launch of the National Cashless Revenue Collection Policy, and this is being done by the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. So the State Department for Lands and Physical Planning is the one that is launching that, and we've got the Cabinet Secretary, Zachariah Njero, who is going to be part of that event. We've seen him speak there. So just as I was doing the introductions, besides that, bipartisan talks at Bomas, where the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio teams are expected to be present. Our reporter today at that event is Tilio Marco, and also we've got the unveiling of the new Council of Governor leadership in Westlands, taking place in Westlands, Nairobi County. They are meeting now, and at around 1 o'clock, they will be unveiling their new leadership and the people who are in charge of various committees at the Council of Governors. So, on Sports Check today, the conversations that we are going to be having, number one, we had the World Road Running Championships in Riga, Latvia last evening. And that is what we call the major championships of the year 2023 or the 2022-2023 season. We've had the World Cross Country Championships, we've had the World Athletics Championships and the World Road Running Championships. What a day it was for Kenya, the half marathon, the women's 5-kilometer road race, and the mile just didn't go so well. But there is one man who's been inside of it. He is an elite member of the Athletics Kenya coaching team, Alex Sang. Just to put it into context, one athlete you know that is coached by coach is under Alex Sang. Mary Morash, he's had a stellar performance. So what's the review of the season? What are the developments and the growth that we have seen in the athletic sector? We shall be speaking with him shortly once he comes in. Then we also have got the Hospitality Industry Sports Championships. Julius Kipkoech is the chairman of the organization that's behind this. That is also done as Hotoso. So remember that that is going to be happening. And also happening right now, we've got the Kenya Volleyball Federation season finale, the playoffs for both men and women. Kenya Volleyball Federation President Charles Nyaberi is to join us. Tell us about the season that's come to a close and the outlook for the 2023-2024 season. I know so much focus is going to be on the Malkia Strikers, given their expected participation at the Paris Olympics next year. But part of something else, we'll be talking about countries that are hosting major events. Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. They got the Pamoja bid and that came in. And that was a big news last week. And so a lot of conversations going on around here. We've seen all the communication that has been flowing, but the reaction to this. The Pamoja bid for the AFCON 2027 that was awarded to Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania last week on Wednesday.
The 32nd edition of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations kicked off at the Cairo International Stadium, where spectators were treated to a spectacular opening ceremony that spoke louder of the African culture as well as Egyptian civilization.
Where pride amidst passion as the heat was dissipated as the mighty were humbled as they all sought the ultimate trophy. We are talking about 24 teams who are seeking the ultimate trophy, among them Kenya's Harambee Stars, who didn't survive the heat but left us with a memorable moment in a neighborly affair. So did Madagascar for the pride of their nation. And we kick off from where it all started, in Cairo.
Host Egypt were taken to task in their opening Group A match by Zimbabwe before they beat them 1-0 courtesy of Trezeguet's first half goal at the Cairo International Stadium.
Trezeguet. Oh, he's a nifty little player, isn't he? Trezeguet working well. He's onside as well. Trezeguet has given Egypt the lead. Beautiful finish there. Oh, he teased, didn't he, the defence? And look at that, the fans are going absolutely insane.
Uganda silenced the Democratic Republic of Congo 2-0 in the opening match.
As the Cranes put a little bit of pressure on the Leopards, there's the delivery into the penalty area. There's a goal. They score the opening goal. A beautiful header. How about that? Uganda have taken the lead. Kanu is the man. And Maya will normally take the free kick. He's such a fine dead ball specialist. There's another header. Oh, it's in the back of the net. They've done it again. They've done it again. It's another set piece. It's another header. And they found the way to break down this DRC defence. Uganda are upsetting the apple cart here.
Egypt made it to the knockout stage following a 2-0 defeat of the Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who gave it all, especially in the second half.
Two teams a little bit frustrated at the moment. Egypt because they haven't brought their A game to this competition just yet. DRC because they lost their opening game. There's a shot coming in as an opportunity. What happened with... Oh, it's in the back of the net. They found it. It's that right back El Mohammadi who's managed to just tidy things up. Oh, Trezeguet. Oh, this is splendid play by Trezeguet. Can he get the ball out? There's the ball to Mo Salah. He cuts inside. Mo Salah. Mo Salah shot in the back of the net. Mo Salah scored. That is the goal that everybody has been waiting for. What a fine strike it was.
Uganda kept up their tempo to thrill their fans in their second Group A match, where they remained in contention for a knockout place despite a 1-0 draw with Zimbabwe.
And that's going to be problematic as we can see Uganda on the attack. The shot's coming in. Oh, it's at the back of the net. They've scored it. Arqui of Simba SC has put Uganda ahead. It's a decent ball. That's a lovely chest. This is a good opportunity. They've split open this Ugandan defence. Can they get the ball across? Oh, it's in the back of the net. Billiard has scored the goal, the equaliser.
The Uganda Cranes reached the last 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time since 1978 as a Group A runners-up, despite their 2-0 defeat by Egypt in their last group match at the Cairo International Stadium.
And I'm afraid that's not good enough. Mo Salah tees up the free kick. Oh, Mo Salah scored! How about that for a free kick? Into the corner it goes. Trezeguet, that's a big, strong challenge coming in there, and the advantage being played, but the ball comes out. Good opportunity. Asra! Oh, Mo Salah's there. There's a chance for Al Mohammadi! Goal number 2! And it's the captain who scores his second goal. The Aston Villa man with a low strike from way out wide.
The national soccer team Harambee Stars kicked off their 2019 Africa Cup of Nations campaign against Algeria, who beat them 2-0.
The wing back cuts inside. Nice play from Atal. Oh, he's gone down. Is that a penalty? Yes, it is. Algeria have got a penalty. Bounedjah. Oh, he scores for Algeria. They take the lead. Takes the goalkeeper the wrong way. Matassi goes the other way. Good play here with Benacer, slipping the ball out to Belali, back to Benacer who's gone for it, the ball comes out, oh, it's going to be a good shot, it's in the back of the net, 2-0, Mahrez takes a deflection, Algeria have taken a 2-goal lead now here.
The Lions of Teranga beat Tanzania 2-0 in their opening Group C match with Keita and Diatta on target in both halves.
That's a good ball, a very good ball. An opportunity now, Senegal, can they find the back of the net? They scored the goal, Senegal have found the back of the net. Keita Balde, the 24-year-old. Is Balde with the corner. Long range shot coming in, oh my word! How about that? Diatta with an absolute thunderbolt. It fell to him, he didn't mess around, oh no.
Michael Lunga was the man of the match with a brace, with Johanna Omolo getting into the score sheet with the second goal after Msuva stunned the Kenyan 6 minutes after kickoff before Samatta extended Tanzania's lead. The win saw Kenya go level on points with Senegal.
There's the through ball, he's onside as well. Opportunity here for the shot coming in. It's a great shot, the follow-up is in the back of the net. Tanzania have scored. The celebrations there. Msuva is the man. And a good counter-attacking opportunity here as they push forward. Here it is, Masika going right out wide. He's got a... Vire just getting knocked off his feet. He wins the free kick though. Masika will try and deliver the right cross into the penalty box. There's it's been flapping around. There's a chance, it's in the back of the net, and they've done it. Kenya have equalised. Olunga with the overhead. It's a beauty. Onto the high plateaus. Everybody's watching this. It's Africa Cup of Nations time. And watch out, Tanzania are coming again. And this time, he come out the goalkeeper. There's a shot, they've scored! Tanzania have scored again. Samatta just moments after Olunga's goal. Let's see where this corner's going first of all. There's the delivery into the penalty area. There's a goal. They've done it. Aviri gets the header. Kenya are back in business. Omolo's the man. Omolo is the man. And they get it from the set piece. It's a beautiful meet and greet. Nice play, nice touch, gets the ball to himself. This is good play from Amondi. He's got fresh legs, remember. That's the little pass that he needed to put. There's a shot coming in. Oh, Kenya in the corner. How about that? That was sensational.
The Desert Foxes of Algeria booked the last 16th place when they beat Senegal 1-0 in their second highly charged and physical Group C match in Cairo.
Here they go again. Spaguli getting the ball back. It's an opportunity here. Belali scores for Algeria. Feghouli pulls the ball back so well and under pressure there. But how about that for a strike? And Dai comes in. Can't block his shot. That is just rifled in right down the middle. An absolute scorcher. Boom.
The national soccer team Harambee Stars were forced to wait for the final outcome of the group matches to know their fate in the last 16 when they lost by 3 clear goals to the Lions of Teranga of Senegal in their final Group C match.
Chance possible Nyang getting the ball out wide. There's the delivery. It's a decent delivery as well. Oh, the goalkeeper's come out. He's been blocked as well. That's a beautiful goal. Oh, my word. There you have it. Sarr is the scorer. 20 minutes to go. Kenya looking for an equaliser. All important equaliser. The chance to get the shots in, but it's just fallen to Gassama rather than a Kenyan player. That's their free kick, surely. Well, Mane has scored the goal. I thought there was a foul there, but the goal has been given, and Sadio Mane has sent these Senegalese fans into a frenzy. Nice ball to Ghana, leaves it. He didn't mean to do that. It's another penalty. It's another penalty, and it's all going pear-shaped for Kenya, I'm afraid. Otieno brings down Sarr, and a yellow card and a red card for Otieno. He's already picked up a yellow, and this is disastrous for Kenya. It really is. Sadio Mane. In the corner it goes. Oh, he just went the right way again, didn't he?
Algeria topped Group C with the maximum points following a 3-0 defeat of Taifa Stars of Tanzania.
A great pass, Slimani here. Islam Slimani! And Algeria up in front here. And Hussein disappointingly give the ball away, and Ahmed Udir. And Ahmed makes it 2. Absolutely stunning display. Look at the passing movement. Look at it again. Absolutely spectacular. Quick play. Dalot, Andy. Another ball to Ahmed Unas. And this could be the third. Ahmed Unas runs up goalkeeper Manata. And it's a third goal. This is fantastic play from Algeria. 3 goals inside 45 minutes.
That's a real throwback, and that is from the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, where Kenya were pulled together with Tanzania, Algeria, and Senegal. 65 minutes of sheer brilliance, and then 25 minutes of real torture for anyone who has got their affiliation to Kenya in that final match against Senegal that was played at the 30th of June Stadium. So, 20 minutes past 10 o'clock, and it's time for us to get into our first conversation, because yesterday was a day of road running, the inaugural World Road Running Championships. We've always had the World Half Marathon Championships, but World Athletics has decided to be a little bit innovative, and they decided that there are some distances that can also be run on the roads that we know about them. And one of them was the mile for elite men and elite women, because there was a mass participation event in the half marathon, the 5, and also the 5 kilometers and the mile. We had the 5 kilometers road races, and for elite men and elite women, and the World Half Marathon Championships, where Paris Jepchirchir put herself in the annals of history. And this is simply because she's one of 4 women to have won 3 World Half Marathon Championship titles. Tegla Lorupe, Paula Radcliffe, and Lorna Kiplagat being the other 3 women. And to talk about this and how this season has gone down, because we are now headed to road running. We know Chicago Marathon. We had the Berlin Marathon just over a week ago. The Chicago Marathon's coming on Sunday. We've got one member of the Athletics Kenya Elite Coaching Panel. His name is Coach Alex Sang. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
And for Coach, this has been quite an interesting season for you. And this is because you've got your whole field of athletes, but one athlete stands out, Mary Mora.
Yeah, we had a very colorful season this time. And in fact, we did it last year for the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
But this time around, and we saw that it was possible for her to win a major championship, that's World Championship, and we move all our gears towards the championship, and finally we got it.
let's just take a look at from what happened last year. You come from Eugene, Oregon.
Yes.
A bronze medal for Mora. Goes on to become the Commonwealth Games champion. Then there is the Diamond League. Then after that, it's taking a rest. What were the learning lessons from 2022 that you took in the mid-season break before you got into 2023?
First of all, I could say that we were well prepared for the World Championship last year, which is in Oregon. And at the last eve and the last Diamond League before the championship, we could see that the other two girls were strong in the event, and we were ready for real. But only the confidence was not there for Mary Mora. She was graduating from 400 meters 2 years ago, 2 years behind, and it was really a challenge for her to make it. It is first time to be in the World Championship 800 meters, going up to final, and now there are two who have been having a medal in the event. So that was a challenge, and she was tensional, and there finally she won a bronze.
Well, and for that transition from 400 to 800, because we see it with so many athletes, we've got a natural 400 meter runner, Emmanuel Correa. He says he doesn't even warm up for the 400. It's more of natural for him, but he's moved to the 800. And now we've seen even Janet Jepkosgei, we've seen her do the 400 when she was in the relay team. Yeah. Quite a very powerful athlete. The same with Wycliffe Kinyamal. Yeah. How do you help these athletes gain the confidence when they move from the 1 lap to the 2 laps?
First of all, I would say that 400 meters is you are going to use a 400 meter event to get yourself in the 800. When you see the season, this season, we were engaging Mary Mora for 400 for some events in 400 meters. This was to build her power and to give her confidence that she's strong in even the sprints. So we were banking on the issue that the other two ladies are strong in lapping, and we were saying that if the two ladies could go for lapping, then let's go for power. And that 400 meters came in now. Yeah.
And what has been, we've seen her win races, in the Diamond League and also come here at the Nationals, where she has competed, not just in the 400, but the 800, but has proven to be quite a strong athlete.
Yeah.
And, balancing it such that she doesn't burn out.
For sure, this season we did a very good balancing in that there was no much 400 meters, though there was a little much of 800. It was easy for us now to navigate from the 400 meters going to the 800 meters. Going for the next season, we are not going to bang much on the 800 meters. We are going to still do some 400 meters. And maybe world relay if it will be the stage, and that one will give us the gauge on how the Olympics will be run.
Actually, now because you mentioned the relays, I think on the first day of the first weekend of the championships in Budapest, we were all waiting for one name, Mary Mora. But what was the decision to keep her off the mixed relay team? And there was a probability for that.
Yeah, it was a decision that we had to make it. We had to know what were we in Budapest for. And the best is that we had a very good boys and girls in relay, and Mary was among them, and we decided that if we are going to field Mary Mora, it will jeopardize our chances in the 800 meters. Owing to the fact that the 800 field is very strong. We had the world champion, we had the world silver. Yeah, and it was not an easy job. So we decided to go for one race, and that's 800 meters, and it surely paid.
Well, looking at it now, because for the track athletes, the season is over, but we're heading into an interesting year that we always see. It's an Olympics year. Yeah. You have got the African Games. They're scheduled for March in Ghana. Yeah. There's the World Relays, which is going to give a direction as to how teams qualify for the Olympic Games also. Yeah. So, and there is also the indoor season that comes for track athletes. What's the plan now?
Our plan is that we are going to do for World Relay as well as the World Indoor Championship. And then immediately thereafter, we are going to drop our program so that now we engage a new gear for the Olympic Games. We are going to do a very good races in probably one race in Indo Championship, and then we go for a World Relay. After that one, we are going to start a program now for the Olympic Games. Yeah.
Well, quite a story that you've got to see coming in from Mary Moran, from a 400-meter runner and all of that. And one of the jobs that you've had to do as a coach, and together with your strength and conditioning team, is, we know she's got the lean back structure that is almost natural for her, but trying now to help her keep straight. I know she started off, like they would say, it's like almost like a chakacha dance.
Run like a duck.
At least you can say that, I'll get away with it. At least I tried to say chaka. But to help her keep this way, such that that power that she's got is fully optimized.
Yeah, we started earlier on. We had not seen to have a strength training in her abdomen, and we had actually forgotten it, and that was what she was keeping her back. When your abdomen is strong, it is that you are going to lean forward. But when the back is stronger than the abdomen, it shows that you have to lean backward. So this one is among the tactics that we are using to ensure that she is okay in every aspect, and we are going to do everything to ensure that she is okay.
And it's been evident. How much evidence have you seen on it when you work with the strength and conditioning coaches as to her upright posture now when running?
Yeah, at first, that's why we had not taken interest on that issue. Is that we had, first of all, somebody had to call us and inform us that you could still work. Maybe she's stronger in the abdomen more than the back. And I get one coach who is Kimani, who is strength and endurance, strength and power training instructor, and he did a very well job, and actually it is what it gave us that we are going to have some strength and conditioning session to help gain our strength.
Wow. And you can see that the fruits are all there. And overall, you are part of the coaching staff for the Kenyan team, because the track season basically has come to a close. And one of the things, just a quick one, Wycliffe Kinyamal in the 4x4. What happened when he tried to hold, he slipped his ankle or something?
I think Kinyamal ran out of gas. It was not that he was, I think he was tired, and he ran like an 800 meters event. At times when you are going to a championship which is more of a stronger elite, you are not going to bang so much on the 800 meters guys. Maybe we could use the 800 meters guys or just only when to qualify for the final. And probably we could see that he ran out of gas towards the finish line. And the other guys were so strong. So that is what he was dropped off and the last. Yeah.
All right. So that is, and also Budapest, just something else that we realized. What's the potential for Emmanuel Wanyonyi now that we've seen him win the Diamond League?
Emmanuel Wanyonyi is a very good athlete. We have, in fact, the Kenyans are banking on him to have more medals like David Rudisha. So seeing him doing a very good in the 800 meters. In fact, he came in as a young boy, 19 years, and he's doing good. He's not like somebody like Arop, who is a world champion, who has been there for like 3, 4, 5 years. So he's a strong athlete. He's still young, and he's going to do well maybe in the near future.
Well, there you've had it, and that's really, for mainly the track season, and for most of the championship athletes, the last event that we had was yesterday, the inaugural World Road Running Championships in Riga, Latvia. And let's start with Beatrice Chebet winning. She started the year with a bang, winning the World Cross Country Championships. Dramatic situation as it was, But yesterday, we saw a different Beatrice Chebet. Just break that. She won the 5K road race, and like they say, it was a championship record for her.
Yeah, and in fact, to say with Beatrice is that she has been a consistent athlete, and the only that when maybe somebody like Faith Kipyegon and Gidey from Ethiopia and Segei, they are strong athletes also. So for her, I think she has had a consistent run, and she was just waiting for Taya to maybe control the pace and take over from there and win. So for her, I can say that she has done a very good job this season, and she has been doing well, winning from the World Cross Country Championship. Now she's a road runner now.
And actually, let's just say the adaptation for these athletes when they get onto the roads. How important is it, especially for a track athlete? All season you've been on your spikes, and also cross country on your spikes. Then you put on these shoes, they may be slightly heavier, and road demands that, what do they say, you use your entire foot.
Yeah, I can say that when it comes to road running, it's a bit different. If you see those who won the races yesterday in Latvia, it shows that somebody like Sawe has been a good road racer.
Actually, coming to Sawe, yes.
Yeah, he has not performed well in track, and for him comparing with Ebenyo, it shows that somebody who has run more road running could be a bet for the event. When it comes to Faith, she lost it just because maybe she has not been used to running in both angles. Sometimes you take a right corner, left corner. So at times it becomes a challenge for an athlete who has not participated in that event.
Actually, Coach, I'll be coming to that. Yeah. Beatrice Chebet and Lilian Kasait, their race execution. Let's start with the 5K. We deal with the goals, and we'll come to the others.
Yeah, for the two athletes, is that for Beatrice has been a consistent athlete, like I had said.
Yes.
And she was among the strongest, having the best time, the third in the 5,000 meters. She's the third athlete in the 5,000 meters, and it gave us that power to see that she's stronger in the field. And when it comes to Lilian, she has been there for a long time. She has been in the 5,000 meters. She knows what she has to do to get that medal, and fortunately, she won it.
Now, for the athletes, I know for them, this is the end of the season. Yeah. What's the recovery that you give to athletes like these two? Because we know the kind of season that they've had, and we know the next thing they're doing is cross country around November. Yeah,
they've had a very long season, and I want to say that owing to the fact that we have the next year we have another World Cross Country Championship, it is going to be a tactical situation to ensure that this season she finished the toppest, and then you have to go now a very short off season, and then come back again. Yeah.
Well, very interesting. Let's talk about the men's 5K. Yeah. We know we're looking at one athlete who's going to come in and make their presence felt in the men's 5,000 meters. Nicholas Kipkorir, we've known him as Nicholas Kimeli for so long, such that even when he goes to Kipkorir, gets lost. But just take a look at how he kept up with Hagos Gebrehiwet and Yomif Kejalcha, who's got all the experience you'd want in the world.
Yeah, we had the three guys at 12:42. I think they had the best time this season, the three of them.
Yes, on the track.
And surely I could say that the other two from Ethiopia were not much engaged in the World Championship, as maybe like somebody like Kipkorir who was in the World Championship, having that in his race. He was trying to balance between the World Championship, having to run a good time, and sure enough, immediately after the World Championship, after the final Diamond League, they had to come back to the road running. Yeah.
And looking at it, what's our future in the men's 5,000 meters? Because everyone's asking, when shall we have another one come through? You know, it's almost what? 20 years?
20 years without a medal.
Without a medal?
Yeah, for
at
some
the World
time.
Championships.
For some time.
Actually, it's now what? 19 years?
19 years.
Since Benjamin Limo.
Yeah. That is 2005 Helsinki. Wahome, to say is that 5,000 we have lost so many races because maybe our athletes are measuring on the road race more than in the track event. Our athletes are each time running away from the track event, going for the major marathons. And indeed, they are doing so well, yes, but now we are not getting a new breed of athletes moving from 1,500 meters, maybe going to the 5,000. In future, if we are going to bang on the issue that we are going to ensure that an athlete is running like up to maybe 6 years in a certain event before moving to the forward. And I can see that in future, maybe if all the coaches could sit down and have a conversation on how to have a system whereby you have to move an athlete from a certain event after a certain period of time. Yeah.
And now, those were the medals that were won in the 5 kilometers, and that was a gold and a silver in the elite women's 5 kilometer road race, a bronze in the men's. Now, let's talk about Paris Jepchirchir and how, she executed this, making history. Before her, there was Tegla Lerupe, Paula Radcliffe, and Lorna Kiplagat. Yeah. But just take a look at how she went past another of an athlete who's, you've got an association with by being, what did you say, your team members together. Yeah. Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi. Yeah. How was that race executed?
I could see that in 5,000, in the half marathon race, where the ladies won 1 to 4, is that they had a teamwork. They were doing a teamwork event in that one they could see that one of them was dropping off, and they could just hatch her to maybe to catch up with the pace. And actually, eventually, the event was won by Kenyans and with a good results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be talking more about the marathons with Coach Alex Sang, and he is part of the elite panel of coaches at Athletics Kenya. But right now, let's move over to Mombasa County, where the Africa Regional Meeting on e-waste management and persistent organic pollutants is taking place. And the chief guest is the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, Pantuia. Let us join in on this.
Of this program. Looking through the program objectives, which include reducing exposure to mercury and the UPOP's pollution at pilot sites, strengthening the institutional capacity to manage and regulate mercury use in artisanal small-scale gold mining, and e-waste in selected countries in Africa, I'm sure that we will not only make progress in ensuring human health, but that of the environment, as well as meeting our obligations as state parties to the Stockholm Convention. The project components on institutional strengthening, knowledge and capacity building will help us address the health risks due to the release of chemicals from ASGM, e-waste, and other solid waste dump sites. I'm sure we all agree that there is both an inherent capacity and knowledge gap across most of the partner countries who are implementing this program. Whereas we are all free to choose how we implement this first component, some activities aim at reducing the use of and exposure to mercury, while other activities aim at reducing the release of these pollutants. In Kenya, we are solely focusing on e-waste management, and we have made major milestones that are contributing in the promotion of solid waste management. We have initiated the process of establishing a demonstration pilot for e-waste circular economy at Konza Technopolis City on the outskirts of Nairobi, which will provide a range of e-waste circular economy arrangements, awareness promotion, innovation, research, green jobs creation, and promotion of bottom-up economic transformation. As has been said, waste here in Kenya and the globe over presents a huge opportunity because we have seen and know that waste is a great potential source for energy. Waste has been demonstrated to be a huge source of wealth for our young people, the women. Deputy Governor, we are talking about those dump site communities, for lack of a better word. But we have young people surrounding each and every dump site in this country. And we have an opportunity to turn around the livelihoods of our populations using waste. We have even seen instances and discussions that waste can even be turned into food. So the potential for economic transformation, that untapped potential in Africa is one that I want to say is untapped, it is potent, and we need to take that space. And I'm really happy that as we sit here today, we have a comprehensive mapping of all the stakeholders that need to have this discussion and carry it forward from these boardrooms right into where the action is required. When I see members of private sector here, when I see the county government, we are here as national government, it is encouraging. And of course, our partners, the World Bank, is right here at the table. There is no reason why this should not be achieved. I'm trying to look for the word, for the name of the Dandora of Mombasa. Mwakirungi. And we have been told that Mombasa is churning out 700 tons of waste every single day. It is catastrophic, but then again, it is encouraging that we are here seated on the table with each and every partner that matters, including our Member of Parliament here, because we are talking about the regulations that are necessary. We are talking about the county governments having the primary mandate for waste management. But here at NEMA, the DG will tell you and the chairman, I keep pushing them, that yes, it is the county governments that have the primary mandate for waste management, but as NEMA and the ministry, we must demonstrate what the county governments should be doing. And we are available for partnership. We are available to assist in those pilots so that, and I believe in modeling. If we don't model what we are talking about, then we remain to just engage ourselves in talk shows. And that's what we were trying to tell the world during our Africa Climate Summit a few weeks ago. Year in, year out, we do one COP 1 year after another, and we keep sinking deeper into the climate crisis. It is because we are not being practical. And I want to assure all the stakeholders here, the private sector, our partners. You know, when we talk about the need for capacity building of institutions, it's very critical. Awareness creation, it's very critical. But I'm delighted that for us, the Kenyan pilot, in partnership with Konza, the World Bank and other players, that we are going to have a demonstration of what it is we want to see in e-waste management through an e-waste recycling facility. Ladies and gentlemen, the components on policy dialogue and regulatory enhancements seeks to support the various government efforts in strengthening current environmental policies and legislations and facilitate implementation to better address the health risks associated with mercury and the UPOPs. In Kenya, we are working on ensuring a holistic circular economy strategy, as well as having our Environment Management and Coordination Act amplify how we manage solid waste sustainably. You can see a gentleman there changing.
That is the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, Supantuya, who is speaking at Mombasa County, and this is at the African Regional Meeting on e-waste management and persistent organic pollutants. That is why you've mentioned, because e-waste is a huge thing with the advancement of technologies. Where do you dump your computers that you have used? People are moving away from one form of television, one type of television set to another. That's another big challenge. And the other one is these little devices that we all have in our pockets. The moment you get a new one, you want to do away with the other one. Where do you take that? And so people have got to look at that. Anburu is our reporter at that event and will keep us updated on it. We continue with our conversation on Sports Check, and it is all about the season, the track, the 2022-2023 season coming to a close. We had the World Road Running Championships in Riga, Latvia yesterday. Kenya, top of the table, 5 gold, 3 silver, and 4 bronze. We've been talking about the 5K women, the men's and the women's half marathon and how it was executed. Now, and we are with Coach Alex Sang, and just to put it, he's not a very famous guy, but we can try and make him famous. Mary Mora's coach. So, Coach Sang, let's now come into the men's half marathon. We saw how Simue Benyo, he's done what is known as a podium slam. He won it at the World Cross, at the World Championships in Budapest, and now in Riga. How would you give, his performance this season, and also that of Kimaru Sawe and Nyamai Mailu?
For Epenyo, I could say that she started off in a poor start in her 2019 season, 2020, and then 2021, and in 2022 she started now being serious, and she has come of age, and I would see that she is now running a tactical race with a combination of Kimaru Sawe and Mailu. That was a very good field. It's a very good field that he was doing that. Nobody else was stronger in the half marathon, and the field had maybe the good guys from Ethiopia, the good guys from Uganda, and it gave us that search to ensure that our athletes are strong. I think when knowing that there was no other athletes from the other opposing teams, it was a clear way that Kenyans could have a good run.
Overall, he's a man who paced it. He was very happy when Sawe won, and you could see even as he looked like he was fading, he was quite comfortable with the overall outcome of it. And Kenya also winning the team gold in the men's half marathon. Overall, how would you see take a look at these youngsters who are now coming up?
We have good youngsters who are coming up, and it is good because maybe somebody like Sawe was not there maybe in 3 years ago, and he started up last year, and he's doing a good job. Winning now a world road race, and it is a good thing to show that the Kenyans are full of talents each time. They are coming up with a new athlete each season. It's quite impressive for Kenyans.
Okay. Now the event that didn't go so well, Faith Kipyegon was expected to go all out, maybe probably win just one other event in a year where everything's gone so well for her. Breaking 3 world records, she still holds 2, winning a world championship double in the 1500 meters and the 5000 meters. a bronze for her in this event. What you were mentioning something about how she can adapt to a championship like this, of a road running championship like this, where she was, I think, running for the first time.
Yeah, I think this was a new field for Faith Kipyegon, and having run a good time in the track season, running, she has never run anywhere for the. Maybe she has been doing a cross country, which is good. And this season, she was not doing that much in cross country races. And I think she was focused so much on World Championship and maybe breaking the record. For that, she got it. Now, coming to a new field where that she has not practiced so much, maybe, and there was no time to practice. Maybe to now remove the spike, have training shoes, use the
road running shoes.
Yeah, the road running shoes, and they use the tarmac. That was a complete different event, and there was no time to prepare for it. That's it. That's what I think she messed up her progression. And again, in an event, we have new winners each time. We have new winners. It is human. It is only possible when at times you are beaten, to show that the championship is a well-staged championship. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the men's event just went, how would I summarize it? It went sideways for us. But what did you see? Because I think that is the one world championship race where you would have considered anyone a winner. We are about 6 athletes in under 3 minutes 57 doing the road mile. And consider that you've got to, the course is not flat like a truck. Yeah. So it's got the elevations going up and down. But how would you assess that? And the advantage that maybe the Canadians and the Americans had coming into this race?
Yeah, in for sure, our athletes are not from well to maybe the road running in 1 mile. We are having good athletes in the 1 mile or 1500 meters in the track season. But now coming to this one, again, it's a new thing for our guys, and it played as something strange for them. And for Canadians and the Americans, they have each time they have mile in a road running. We have so many competition in Americans which are used for road running. So this one gives them that they have been used to. It is their field. So, and you could see yesterday that when our guys were trying to push so much, but there was nothing. The Americans and Canadians were moving. Yeah.
By the way, who does that event belong to? Does it belong to the 3,000, 5,000 meter people, or is it for the 1,500 meter track athletes?
It is actually hard to determine that this. Maybe I could say for the 5,000 meters guys, they are used to running in road race.
Yes.
And for the 1,500 meters guys, they are not used so much in the running in road race. They are using their tatan. So this is to gauge that. The 5,000 meters guys are using the tarmac to run. If you combine the two, it shows that the 5,000 meter guys are much better than the 1,500 meters guys. But the event is more of a 1,500 meters event.
The headache of a coach trying to balance the two.
Yeah, you see that you have an headache because maybe there was no time, and also there was no time to prepare for this race, owing the fact that the guys were from World Championship, then after World Championship, 2 weeks to the final Diamond League, and then after final Diamond League, 2 weeks to the World Road Running. No. There was no time to prepare for it.
Okay. Now, to the Chicago Marathon on Sunday, Ruth Chepngetich, we've got Jocelyn Chepkos-Gay, Genzebe Dibaba is another one who's going to be there.
Sifan.
And Sifan Hassan. The women's race, how do you see it?
It will be a dramatic race because we are having a very strong athletes in the event, and could be possibly there could be a world record because Sifan, she has done a very good season this year.
The world just went 2:11.
2:11, yes.
2:11:53.
Last week.
Just about 10 days ago.
Yeah.
8 days ago in Berlin.
In fact, we were not seeing it as if it will go in the Berlin marathon. But with the field in Chicago, it's more stronger, and we are banking on something because Stefania has been training so well for this race. Yeah. So we don't know what will happen. Also, Ruth, as she's kept the World Championship, to prepare for Chicago. Now we don't know.
Okay. Yeah. And Ruth Chepngetich is going for a hat-trick of Chicago Marathon wins and all back-to-back. Yeah. The men's race, the one question that is being asked, 2:01:09. Is Kelvin Kiptum going to bring it down in Chicago? And there are no pacers in the American marathons. That's the difference.
Yeah, I could say that in Chicago, if I guess, is that we have 2:02 something.
Yes.
For Geoffrey Mutai. And it was then our world best because it was...
Actually, that was Boston.
Was it Boston?
That was Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So for in this case, I don't know how it will go because in a race that we do not have 5,000 pacemakers, it's going to be a challenge because we have to have somebody who is going to keep that time. It has to be kept because if you see when Eliud Kipchoge was running in his time, if you have a world record, there were pacemakers who are doing a very good job.
Yes.
Keeping that time to ensure that the athlete who is going to win will be winning in a good time, which might be a world record.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sunday afternoon in the streets of Chicago, we will see if that world record is going to go there. He's mentioned two athletes, Sifan Hassan and Kelvin Kiptum. I think a women's marathon world record staying for 2 weeks is something we haven't had. But let's see if that is going to happen. Thank you very much, Coach Sang, for your insights, especially taking us through the athletes that you've worked with, most so Mary Morai and her transformation, and also breaking it down how it went yesterday and what to expect on Sunday. Okay. Shukran, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be taking a short break right now, and when we get back, we'll be talking about sports from an institutional perspective. What's also the hotels in the sports and tourism sports organization, they've got their events coming up, but there is also the one thing that Kenya has been awarded for, a synergy between sports and tourism. How does this work? We'll be joined by Julius Kipkoech, Chairman Hotoso, in just a short while.
Company are going to fire me today, then you should at least tell me on what grounds. What do you mean by I'm not up to standard?
Hey, don't force me to do it! Move!
Back off! I'll call them, I swear!
Move! Get out!
All right, enough!
Hey,
I dare you to hurt her! Come on!
Where is she?
My loving family and dearest friends, I hope that you can forgive me for not saying goodbye. It may seem dark, but the sun will shine. Eventually, we'll reach our destination.
If you're so sure about your accusations, I suppose you have a proof, right? I know how rotten you are. That is why it will only be me who's going to drag you out of my sawmill plant.
Let go of me!
Hey, you leave her alone, will you?
That's enough, Ariel!
You told my brother what I did. I have told you that when you irritate me, it will cost you very dearly, and I mean dearly.
Why don't you go with her, instead of pursuing me just to annoy your brother? Because what can be expected from a man who allows his wife to treat him like this?
KBC Channel 1 magazine programs strive to disseminate news and information.
Welcome to Happening in the World of Entertainment
and achievements of individuals navigating through life.
Be part of the intelligent conversation. Upper KBC Channel 1.
Related to the interest of Kenyan public on various subjects of national importance.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news,
challenges, and remarkable stories of individuals with disabilities.
And you have a say.
Our magazine programs empower communities with words for conversations and a common language to approach the world.
For your infotainment needs, we have a great range of programs.
Serikali ya kaunti ya Turkana ya kualika kwenye kitovu cha utamaduni cha Ekales, eneo la Lodwar, kwa makala ya 7 ya tamasha ya utamaduni wa Turkana na utalii. Tangia tarehe 12 hadi tarehe 14 mwezi Oktoba mwaka 2023. Njoo ujionee asili ya binadamu pamoja na visima vya mafuta vya Lokichar. Kenye kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, Radio Taifa na idhaa ya Kiturukana.
These are the moments we live for every Friday as we catch up with the world of football.
Manchester City go in front.
With your favorite stars in rivalries like no other that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Learn a few tricks that keep you ahead of the game and spice it all with unforgettable moments on Dunda Dunda. On Saturday, you're in for another treat as we rock your weekend with all sporting disciplines, bringing you insights on what's happening behind the scenes as we share players and athlete stories, preparations, and celebrate their achievements.
Charging to the line! Is it going to be a world record? Yes, it is! She smashed it!
Whatever angle you look at, we've got you covered. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
I told you guys today, I'm the host of the show. Chipukizi amepata emergency kidogo. Na mabeste mko poa, mko freshi.
Ladies and gentlemen, mwapi nduru ya 0-0. Ni kinini hiki kinawashika mdosi?
Zimenishika ni feeling.
Ng'ombe ya mtu.
Tunajaribu kuchezea hizo leagues za juu, but kuanzia ilianzia na humble beginnings. Kila mtu sema ha kamata.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the second day of October 2023. Well, joining us in the sign language booth is Lensa Odingo. Well, on this Monday morning, remember that for our business desk, it is one busy week for them because most of corporate Kenya is going to be focusing on the customer service week. That happened in the first week of October throughout. And today, it is also the day when we shall be talking about the Non-Violent Day, celebrated on the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. And also happening also today, we've had the launch of the cashless revenue collection policy, and that is by the State Department for Fiscal Planning. So we have got that story. It's going to be covered by Zainab Saib. And also we had the Cabinet Secretary for Climate Change, Environment and Tourism, Soip Antuya, who was opening at the Africa Regional Meeting on e-waste management and persistent organic pollutants. From the political side, bipartisan talks at Bomas. We've got Tilio Marco, who is going to be at that event. With the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio teams are expected to be present. And also, later today, just at around 1 o'clock, the Council of Governors Leadership is going to be unveiling their new leadership. So that is going to be announced later. And just to give you a brief, is that meeting is going on at the COG offices in Westlands, Nairobi County. We continue with our conversation, and it is about sports. And, you know, when you talk about sports and how you bring together different organizations, we've seen the Youth County Games take place. We've seen Kikoso Games take place, where KBC has got participation. We also have seen the Inter-County Games. But what about the the Hospitality and Tourism Sports Organization, HOTOSO? I think when you look at groups that have been clustered and come together to have sporting events, after Kikoso would be talking about HOTOSO, the Hospitality and Tourism Sports Organization. And to speak about their games and their plans for this year, we have got their chairman, Julius Kipkoech. Chairman, karibu.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and this is an important year for HOTOSO. Let's start with that. 25 years. What's been the story of that?
It has been up and downs of the sports industry since it was incepted in 1998. It previously started as hotels, whereby it encapsulated the major hotels for that time, inclusive of the Carnival and the bigger hotels of those periods. After some time, we found that we have a cradle of hospitality, which is Kenya Utalii College, which most of these trained personnel in the hospitality, in the hotel industries are trained. And during their training, we find that most of these are shared among the hotels, and they keep on moving from one hotel to another hotel, which means they have got a common work environment.
Actually, they've got, what do you say, a common culture? Because I think Utalii at that point was the only one that did this.
Yes. But currently now we have got a more which have through group come up. But now currently, as a government entity from the ministry, most of the trained personnel have now gone through the other big hotels, in Kenya. The major hotel, the 6-star hotel, the 5-star hotels, and the 3-star hotels. Which we have realized that as much as we have been selling and we are targeting as hotels, we moved a notch higher by making it hospitalization, whereby there is hospitality, whereby we capture now major entities, the major players on the hospitality industry. One is after the hotels, we have those who come to the hotels, the tourists. So we'd like to see the tourism and the hotels coming together. Kenya is a sporting nation. That one is well known. And we have realized that through this sport, it now captures back to the staff who are working in these hotels, and we see their talents being like they are known. Some of them have been employed through talents. And we have realized that through this talent, hospitality, which captures the tourist or the traveling passenger, the traveling population, it captures the whole team that now, since we have sports in this country, they travel to come and sport here. How are we going to have the bigger population as a country to tap their talents in the industry? And we have realized that those in the hotel industry, we have a bigger stake. As an introductory to this country, we have realized that currently we have a challenge with employment. And in the hotel industry, we employ so many people, and we give a huge percentage to the country, GDP. We contribute to the country's GDP. Equally, again, to say is in the hospitality industry, we have realized that most of these people have suppliers who also contribute to the population. That we have the Mama Mboga who contributes to the hotel through supplies. And on these supplies, we have other companies who come back again supplying to the hotels. And the industry of transport, like we're saying Kikoso, like the Kenya KQ, we celebrate KQ being a part of us as HOTOSO, and equally in the Kikoso. In Kikoso. Why? They facilitate the tourists from that destination to this destination. And we are talking about the tourists and the hotels, which means we are dealing with one person.
Now, I'll be coming to how you engage tourists, because if you go to most of these well-established hotels, you'll always find there is the recreational swimming pool, but something that I always find interesting is beach volleyball.
Yes.
So now, once you get your staff together, how do you then engage to have a competitive league that involves the staff from the hospitality industry, be it in travel, be it hotels?
Let me unpack it a bit. One, these sports are in two categories. We need to capture the two cadres of staff. We have the executive level and we have the regular staff. So the current setup of Otoso is we have a tour. We have the first team which is currently on our tournament, and we capture the lower cadre of staff. Then in the mid of as planned for next year, we will have the executives who are going to discuss major issues of the hotel industries in a tournament like a golf tournament to capture those people.
That was coming out straight.
Then,
golf and polo.
Golf and polo for those executive members of staff, so that they will be discussing majorly on these industries. Then as we end up the year, we would like to have a beach activity, which captures most of the population of this country, most of the us towards the December. We normally go back to the coast. And this is the moment whereby in 2016, we had a festival at the coast, which our former president, also was a case there, to see to that even the World Tourism Organization Secretary General attended. It was about serving as a festival. We took also part as sports people to participate along the coast.
All right, so let's just take a look at this with some, it starts all small when you start with 5 institutions.
Yes.
All based in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So that means you probably would use Utalii, which has sporting facilities, naturally as a college. What have you seen, for example, staff for the hotels doing to pick up sports and knowing that they can compete very well, besides what you would say at times long working hours?
Well, it is for our hotel industry thinking fast. Setup of the hotel industry is that they would like a place to maybe diffuse the energy of the staff who have been overworked. So when sports is brought up, it brings the staff together and the network. We brand them and celebrate these people. One is that in Nairobi there are so many hotels, so big hotels, and we have identified Kenya Utalii College. We have got Backland Sports Club, which we use to hold our sports. Being a sports organization, club, it also gives us a way that they have got good internal indoor games facilities, while the outdoor facilities at Kenya Utalii College is also very nice. Again, to Kenya Utalii College, by virtue of being Otoso member, the principal Utalii College, by virtue of being the principal, is automatic patron for Otoso. And that is the person who gives us a lead on the direction of how we are going to get more stakeholders on this one. This also is driven by the HR department in the hotel industry. It is not just pulled from any other point, it is being pulled from the HR department. So from the HR department now, they will give us the teams from the hotels. Yeah.
Now, how do you compete, bringing in, because just taking a look at this country, we can tell where the tourist circuits are. There is Nairobi,
yes,
there is Amara, there is Coastal Street.
Yes.
Or Greater Nairobi, so that we include Machakos.
Yes.
How then do you get these competing teams such that you don't end up, at times what we would call a heavy crowd of people coming together to compete in, say, 5 sports that
sport place
around this place, and such that the competition is good. So if you've got those coming in from the western side of the country, they know this is their pathway.
Yes.
Those from the central region, this is their pathway. Those from the east, this is their pathway.
Good. That's a good plan. We have a plan as well also. One, as we always borrow a leaf from those who have been there for some time on our planning, and we found that most of the big hotels have not captured most of the counties. And as by law, it tells us that until we capture the 23 counties and above, so that it can be called a national body.
So there is so it's a big challenge.
It's a big challenge currently, because most of the 5-star hotels have not reached the interior counties. So we capture some few only who have been available, like in Nairobi we have got big hotels. And we will also request the ministry to support us on this one, so that we can bring most of the hotels and the fastest, the one-star and the two-star hotels, to bring them on board on one platform, that in these sports we'll be able now to have one part as category as sports. Like what came up from the county sports culture, the Kekoso is moving around the country, because we have Otosi ministries in those counties. But currently Otosi is about the major hotels. So we brought in the tourism, so that we may have that circuit of tourism circuit. We can engage the tourists and even engage the tourists from the major hotels. When we go to the coast, the coastal beach is now, they will be available when they will be there. In Nairobi, we are still dealing with the staff. And let me take you a bit back, that before COVID-19, we used to be having a vibrant Otoso from the major hotels, you know. And it used to be a branding platform for these hotels. It is wonderful when you find the whole field marked from different sites with different hotels, serving different meals. So equally, as much as you're in the sports, we have food signatures from these hotels. We have got food signatures from these hotels, whereby they are run with the same date.
Actually, now let's talk about this. Some of those games that have been there. 2013, you were 2013 coming to Nairobi. You host your finals at Nyayo.
Yes.
That is huge by itself.
It was huge.
2020, you decide to go national.
We decided to go national.
So, at this point, that 7-year gap.
Yes.
What was drawing these institutions to be part of this?
Since the inception of Otoso, it was about the major hotels only. But we have realized that when we engage in the tourism, we need to follow the tourism circuit for us to survive. It's a survival tactic of Otoso, that you need to grow after some time. And personally, it is me who instead that we need to move out of Nairobi, engage other counties. And we were looking at Kisumu. We are looking at we went to Mombasa in 2016 for the beach run, and we are looking at Machakos also, which is a hub to Nairobi. Most of the organizations in Nairobi are going to Machakos for their meetings and so. So we brought in Machakos as a county on its own. Then we have Nairobi as a county on its own, so that when you have these sports at the same time, we have the inter-county grand finals. From the leaders of, we have got about 5 hotels in Machakos which participate. And those hotels, they have their own winners and their own dates. So that when they are brought back to Nairobi, we always have the first 3 to come to Nairobi. And we will have played as Nairobi, so that we reduce the number a bit. And equally, let's look back to those who are our partners who are supporting us on these sports. As much as the institutions subscribe to these sports, we look into the partners who are supporting us through the supply they are supplying to these institutions. And what are these people looking at? Like Coca-Cola at one time. We engaged Coca-Cola at some point, and we found that what they are looking on the mass, the big number. So before COVID, they supported. After COVID, most of these institutions closed the shops. And we had to restart again from at the lowest part. Like currently, we will appreciate KBC for giving us this opportunity, you in person, and the likes of the sports fraternity, to give us that visibility, so that we'll be saying the sports now is a bit back after the COVID. The next is, we would like to see that in our next calendar, that as we grow, after the sports of the hotel industry, we need to bring you on board as facilitators of these sports. Through you is the world can see. You are the eyes of the world. Okay. And currently, even at the moment, countrywide it is being seen as being number 1, I know, KBC. So you find that these sports now can be realized that Otoso is back on track. Currently, we have 2 tiers of Otoso, membership, not membership, but committee. We have the events committee who runs the sports, and the executive committee who now meets the stakeholders. They engaging the GMs and the HRs.
So now, currently, let's just talk about the current activities that you're involved in.
Yes.
Before we move on now, onto how you engage tourists. Because if we say we are, because of late, I've seen people think some time back, one corporate was doing something called some sand games down in Diani.
Yes.
So, first of all, organizing this and reaching out and making sure that people just fully understand this and the competition works, even for the institution that participates.
Yeah. We would like to engage. We always engage with the government, the Ministry of Sports and Tourism, even the tourist destination on the tourist destinations. We find that in Mombasa and the South Coast and the North Coast, for us, we went twice, the North Coast and the South Coast, the only ones. We would like to see the engagement of the county governments in this, because they have the ministries who are engaged with the sports and the tourism. We are encapsulated in about 3 ministries, even the Ministry of Industries, because these are industries that have come together for the sporting activity. But we have seen also that the government draws some levy through our organizations, and this levy from the catering levy from our organization, we would like to see it coming back as CSR to support the sports in these industries, in our sporting activities. We would like to see the government support through these sports. We have been seeing the government supporting maybe athletics, which is already up. This has been on ground for a while, and we have been being checked by the government, but we would like them to come on board and support us by pulling the ministries who are on the same line, so that we'll be able to say we have an activity for Kekoso, for Toso, for Kenya Police, all those people in the same circuit, being a sporting country.
Well, we will see that. And next, how do we engage the tourists and the community? Because all these hotels exist around the communities. I've seen a lot of beach activities anytime you go to such areas. So we'll be coming back to that with Julius Kipkoech, who's the chairman of HOTOSO, which is the Hospitality and Tourism Sports Organization. Now, let's move over to Kisumu briefly, and we join Wycliffe Okech, who's going to be speaking with Lawrence Apio, who is the coordinator of Grassroots Trust, knowing that today is the World Habitat Day. And just to introduce this, the message from the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres: local action is vital and global cooperation indispensable. Let us pledge to build inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable human settlements for all people everywhere. Those were the words of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres for World Habitat Day. How is the Grassroots Trust doing this in Kisumu? Wycliffe Okech and Lawrence Apio next.
Well, thank you so much, Daniel Wahome, back in Nairobi. Of course, it is the UN Habitat Day, and of course, we are trying to enumerate some of the achievements that probably cities, especially not just Kisumu, but Nairobi also, cities across the country, some of the steps that have been taken just to develop the cities in a resilient way. And with me here, like you've mentioned it, I am with Lawrence Apio, who is, of course, the coordinator Grassroots Trust, that is a civil rights organization that is based here in Kisumu, dealing specifically with the urban settlement. Of course, he will just talk to us briefly on what he thinks and what the Grassroots Trust thinks about the steps that the government has taken to modernize our center, our urban centers here. Basically, if you can just move here. In your position as the coordinator, Grassroots Trust, what do you have to say about the steps that the government has taken maybe to modernize the urban centers?
Thank you for having me, and kindly allow me to say that I work for Grassroots Trust as a team leader. I am also the coordinator of Housing Rights Coalition Kenya, which is an outfit bringing on board all civil society organizations working on housing rights. Today we are joining Kenyans and globally in celebrating the World Habitat Day. This is a special day that we reflect, and we want to recall all the steps that have been made to improve the living conditions of our people in the urban towns and cities. So far, I would want to state as a sector that a house is a right and a house is freedom. Denied this, you have no freedom. and you are denied that right. So from the point go, a house is a right, and this is contained in our Constitution, chapter 43, the government must make sure that progressively its citizens benefit, enjoy this right, and more so today that citizens of this republic are being taxed 1.5% employee, 1.5% employer. That is 3%. Today then, therefore, as much as globally cities are grappling with the housing crisis, that is a good step, but that step must be a reality. This money, we as a sector, we are proposing that there should be an entity where the tax, the housing tax, goes directly to, so that that entity is able to account that this month we have received from the housing taxation 1 billion or 1 trillion. We want that accountability, and therefore we need a mechanism, a framework for setting up such an entity, a framework for monitoring this fund, this tax, how it is collected and used. We want to see a mechanism in place that mobilizes the citizens in participating in this fund. This can only be done if, as a coalition, as a sector, among the many sectors, we are writing to the parliamentary committee. We want to write to the housing corporation. We want to write to the housing ministry that we have a sitting, either together or individually, to share with them what we think can work. Other Kenyans will share what they think can work. We know a proper framework that will recognize the organization of the people at the grassroots, housing organizations, climbing up to county levels, so that at the county level you have a housing fund that leverages from the tax fund from that entity, and it trickles down to the people. It can be in the form of a soft loan, so that it continues growing beyond what we are being taxed, until such a time that there is money, enough money in that entity that Kenyans don't need to be taxed, so that taxation is abolished, and this entity having adequate money to continue financing.
So away from the 3% taxation inclusive of the employee contribution, the government we have seen the government launching affordable housing projects in different counties rather. We know that the Buxton housing project in Mombasa is actually now ready for occupation. Back here in Kisumu we have the Makasembo that is nearing, is work in progress. Don't you feel, what do you think? Do you think this is a right move from the government side in terms of modernizing town to ensure that the people that actually live by the urban centers, their conditions are improved?
The vision is good. The vision is good and the intention is good, but implementation is poor. The infrastructure for implementation is poor. And that is why the Buxton you've mentioned, majority of people who lived there have been left out. The cost of those houses are so exorbitant. They are not going to benefit. They are crying as we speak. Makasembo, look at those houses. Who is going to benefit? Do you think the people who are paying less than 1,000 or 1,000, and now the house is put up, people renting at 15,000 or 6,000 or even 5,000, even 4,000, are going to make it without their sources of income also improving? We must address the issue of housing and livelihood, so that people are able, in the absence of that, then there must be that pool of resource pumped into it to subsidize what the people are able to pay as rent or for purchasing. So far, we have seen public land released to the private developers, and the private developers sell those lands, houses at very high prices. This is incorrect. A public land remains a public land, and it should be a subsidy to the cost of those houses, so that people, the public, is able to benefit from the assets put on their public property land.
All right. Just lastly, because we're limited by time, on this particular day, what do you think we can celebrate as a country in terms of the steps that we've made in terms of modernizing our towns? What do we have here to celebrate on this particular day?
I think we are yet to celebrate, because as we see Mukuru kuwajenga evictions, and this is eviction that is coming as a result of civil servants behind a certain company being fronting to get that land. We cannot celebrate if in Nyalenda the violence that we saw, and the tear gas thrown on their roofs, and the roofs getting burnt, and the people becoming homeless. We cannot celebrate if in Nyalenda the prison continues to threaten people, to beat up people for that land.
We really can't substantiate if actually those claims of the prison harassing people
we
are
able
true.
To substantiate. We are able, because they are papers. Right. Yes.
Right. Just in the interest of time, we'll be able to continue this offline. But then Daniel, that is Lawrence Apio, the coordinator of Grassroots Trust that is a civil rights organization operating here in Kisumu. Actually, that is just looking at the framework within which the urban development is taking place. And of course, you've heard him mention that even as the government rolls out the affordable housing program, is that that program actually should intend to benefit the intended beneficiaries, that is the residents of those informal settlements. In the case that when those affordable housing are now ready for occupation, that the first priority is given to the initial occupants of the informal settlements. Well, this is a conversation that doesn't end here. We will be able to continue to speak with Lawrence later on, and of course many details will avail them to our viewers. But now, Daniel, let me hand it back to you to continue that wonderful interview in studio. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Wycliffe Okech. He is in Kisumu, and he was speaking with Lawrence Apio, who is the coordinator of the Grassroots Trust, and it is all about World Habitat Day. Everyone having a real reason to have a place to stay. Food, shelter, and clothing. Those are the three basic needs that a human being must have, and World Habitat Day celebrates the second, which is about shelter, and not just good shelter, but also shelter that is appropriate for everyone and the services that surround it. Wycliffe Okech will be giving us more on that. Now, let's continue the conversation with Julius Kipkoech, who's the chairman of Hotoso, and he is with us in studio, the Hotels and Tourism Sports Organization. Now, we'll be talking about something. Just give us, a quick look at the 2023 championships.
Well, thank you once more. We had some challenges before we picked in on this one. After the COVID-19, we have never been stabilized a bit, regarding to the most of our institution membership went down through the COVID.
And that we fully acknowledge.
Yeah. So currently we are on our baby steps, putting up new membership who are coming on board. We have some new, they used to be members, but now they have renewed their membership, like KQ, which we believe to be the new kid on the block. However, they are longer members on the ground, who serves both the Kekoso, as I had said earlier, and we are looking like us, them bringing on board the international back or also into the international portfolio. Mm-hmm. This one is how it is going to bring. This is an airline. We are going to run, or also running the airline activity through KQ, that we have the international airlines who are working in this country, who are flying to Jomo Kenyatta, have their activity within the Jomo Kenyatta airport, so that we capture the major airlines.
Actually, there is a KLM pilot who's always at the National Cross Country Championships.
Yes. We have realized most of the airlines have engaged, like Uganda Airlines, have engaged Rwanda Airlines, have engaged most of the airlines at the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, that would like to have a one sports event. This one will capture the major countries' flags within the airport. Two, we have some few hotels within the airport. We are going to create a sporting event within for the hotel industry. This one is equally for the traveling passengers, the traveling population, that within the hotels, what activity can we bring on board? We can bring on board that let us have a signature food within the airport. Who makes better coffee in the industry? And who makes better tea within the industry?
Eating competition?
Yes. not eating, but testing. We have international testers. Level, we have international testers for coffee and tea within the airport. So those hotels within the airport who serves as the tourist person or the traveling population, we find that this is the key people who will bring us to the limelight of the world, that Otoso is known worldwide by the World Tourism Organization.
Okay, so eventually, looking forward, how do you want, those who visit your establishments to be part of the games as we wind up? For example, if you go to some hotels, that is the public beaches. Let's start with there.
Yes.
Let's start there.
We have Kenya Wildlife, who supports us within the marine, within the coastal region. As we plan this one, we plan with them on board, so that we've captured the tourists, and we are going to use the marine areas. These areas are always managed by the Kenya Wildlife Service, and we are also going to engage the County of Mombasa to support this program, so that it will support also the population within the coast and support the industry of tourism who are within the hotels who are living along the beaches.
All right. Thank you very much, and we hope to see people, get more involved in sports around the tourism industry, and how we fully, engage those who even live around there, such that if somebody else curious, there is, like they say in Marikiti, there is Team Nyanya versus Team Kitungu versus Team Carrots versus Team Mboga, and we do that.
We will synergize our population when we come together and see that we bring this through sports. As others brand their names in this one, you can come up and brand as you sell yourself through the sports.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Chairman Julius Kipkoech, Chairman of Otoso. And next, we'll be having a conversation about volleyball, because the next 3 days are going to be very busy for the Kenya Volleyball Federation. They're having the playoffs taking place at the Mo International Sports Center Indoor Arena. 3 days of explosive volleyball in round-robin format. And we're having the president of the Kenya Volleyball Federation, Mr. Charles Nyaberi, and as the two, get together, I'll just be mentioning the teams playing. The women's competition, the three usual suspects: Kenya Pipeline, KCB, and Kenya Prisons, and we've got DCI. Then also, those who are battling for the men's honors, we've got GSU. They're multiple champions: KPA, Kenya Prisons, and the Kenya Defense Forces. So you can see that it's going to be busy. Plus, also, it is a season where, after 8 years, Kenya won the African Championship. In studio with me, the president of the Kenya Volleyball Federation, Mr. Charles Nyaberi. How are you, President?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy to be with you here.
Yes. Just an odd one.
Yeah.
Man, we knew this was the last weekend of October, is when, we would plan to go to Makande for the playoffs. The change of calendar to have it early October.
Yeah, the change of calendar was necessitated by, first of all, we had the Malkia Strikers being away in Morocco, first of all, then France, then Cameroon, for a total of 2.5 months. So it meant that all the ladies' matches had to be put on hold. Now, our new calendar states that we should be kicking off the 2023-2024 season in October. That is the last weekend of October, around 20th, 21st of October. So this time we didn't want to roll over any of the matches for the previous season into the next season, because it sounds a bit confusing. So that's why we had to rush and do them this week. We are doing them odd enough also, like you said. We are having to do it on a weekday because the facility is not available It was not available last weekend, the previous weekend, and the following weekend. It's already booked. So we said rather than wait, we better just, and also rather than change the venue from Nairobi to Mombasa, which we've been doing interchangeably, we give Mombasa a chance to, to host every so often. We said, let us get done with it. We decide who is our champion, so they can also go on with the other continental championships that are coming once they qualify.
Well, and overall, let's see this. From the women's side, we know 3 teams. We can always tick, fill the sport. It's only that we don't know who's going to be the champion. But the growth of DCI, what have you seen over the past 4 or 5 seasons that, they joined the top division?
Actually, now it's not as predictable as it used to be. It used to be KCB, Prisons, and Pipeline. The only thing that we never used to know is the order in which they are going to come. But right now, DCI is now a force to reckon with. They have reinforced their team, and they are very highly motivated because they had 14 new players who were recruited and taken for training. So they are now full-time employees, so to say. They are detectives now. I mean, they have personal file numbers. And I think this has really motivated them. And Coach Daniel Bor is doing a good job. And of late, even losing to the biggies, they lose 3-2, 3-1. Anything is possible. It's explosive. I've just come off from Kasarani. I've left them DCI playing against Pipeline.
Actually, yeah, we can see that.
Yeah.
And Pipeline are 2 sets to nil up.
Yeah, 2 sets.
9-8 in the third.
Exactly, but it's not, as you see, 9-8 is quite balanced. They give as much as they take, which is a very good thing for Kenyan volleyball. Because the more balanced the top teams are, the more teams we have at the top, the better it is when we come down to selecting our national team.
The men's side, GSU, KPA, Prisons, and KDF. Now, let me simply say this. KPA came in and they changed the whole setup. Mulinga's men. And we've got the Kenya Defence Forces. You really wouldn't, for a long time we knew it was GSU and Prisons. Now, this has changed. Have you seen these youngsters coming in, especially in the men's side?
It's actually there's also another team that is also, there are actually quite a number of other teams which have come in.
There's Blazers.
They are game changers. Trailblazers, which is the second professional outfit after KCB, with fully professional players, being paid and contracted. Then there is also, actually in the men's side, there are other teams as well. There is Equity Bank, who have a very formidable and a very consistent track. Then we also have others, AP, the AP Training College, and Kenya Forest Rangers. All these have recruited young players from schools, and they have run a very good track this last season. The men's competition was very competitive, and it made us it enabled us to choose a very strong team that went to Cairo. They joined the Wahome Stars, and we had one of the best teams that we have had in a long time. And it spells very good signs for Kenyan men's volleyball in the future.
Well, and actually when you talk about Wahome, and I saw you something post somewhere on some mutual forum, is that you have offered the services of the Wahome physiotherapists, Antoinette Tiema, to work with the athletes who are at the playoffs. What's this that you would like to bring, that, where you bring in the national team, coaching and the money, backroom stuff, so to speak? Yeah,
what we are doing is that we are giving due attention to injury prevention and injury management, because we have had cases whereby players drop off at the 11th hour because of injury, or injury that was there and was not well managed. So now we have engaged the services of Antoinette Litema, who is a top physiotherapist. She's been working with the top track and field runners. We also have Sarah Karongo, who is already on board. We have sent Antoinette's name for registration, so she can now sit on the bench for matches. So what we are doing is we want the teams to give due prominence to the fact that at the end of the training, or even before training, or in between trainings, we need to monitor and see which player has gotten which injury, and then they be handled by professionals. So like now, we're even very happy because this team called BTL, which is one that sells equipment for physiotherapy. We have teamed up with them. In fact, they'll be there today, and together with Antoinette. Antoinette did a beautiful job with the Wahome Stars during their training and also during their competition in Egypt. And also Sarah Karonga has been with us before. So what we want to do is increase the number of qualified and seasoned and knowledgeable physiotherapy and also medical team. So that is one thing that we have been, relying on luck. And it doesn't work anymore. So we want to do that up, and we want to also start training for team physiotherapists. We've had one already carried out by CAVB. There is another one coming up where all the team physiotherapists will be put through some basic training so that we know we are on the same page when it comes to injury avoidance and injury management.
What would be the take home from the CAVB Men's Cup of Nations?
From the Cup of Nations,
especially when it comes to injury prevention and management.
What actually happened is that first of all, the Malkia Strikers have been very regular participants in the Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, they have been there all the time, and except for twice when we were beaten by Cameroon.
Yeah.
Which was by sheer luck, but we turned the tables later. We've come on top. Now what we want to do is also we want to push the men to that level or even higher, so that they can be competitive at continental level. But we want to do an all-round thing. We want to do now statistics. Today we have a full VIS system, which means the statistics, the details of every player during the game are taken, so that by the time you decide at the end of the tournament that so and so is the most valuable player, you are relying on statistics. Same thing when you choose 2-3 players for a certain position. You don't just go by maybe how frequently they are carried in the press or something like that, or how famous their nickname is. You go by statistics.
I never knew you were part of the selection process.
You are. The media is very crucial to us, because first of all, the media is the one that actually popularizes these players.
Yes.
They popularize this team. Then they really help us even in the hunt for sponsors. Because if you are not anywhere in the press, if you are not appearing much, even the sponsors will not be bothered. And even the new players who are longing to come up, they go by the press reviews. They see which team is ranking where. So it's the press are the Fourth Estate is a very crucial and very useful partner to us. It's one that we love to partner with, and we will definitely continue doing so.
Actually, we will continue with that role, and maybe we could speak later and see how we can get all of that data, because when we are able to say player A had so many blocks, player B had so many kills, then you're able to justify anything that you say, so that everyone benefits through the information system. Now let's talk about the Olympics and the build-up to that. The Malkia Strikers, African champions for the first time since Kenya hosted the event in 2015. And now it's making sure that the national women's team is in high competition level. What's the plan for this?
First of all, I want to go back and say that Kenya has been lucky to be a beneficiary of the Volleyball Empowerment Project, which is a project by FIVB, which has been going on for the last 3 years. Actually 4 years. The first phase, the team went to Brazil for 2.5 months, then went on to Serbia for 10 days, and then on to the World Championships. Then this year, the team managed to go to, through the Volleyball Empowerment Project, which is a sponsorship, a partnership with our FIVB and also our National Olympic Committee of Kenya. The team went to Morocco for training, intensive training, for 6-7 weeks, and under the tutelage of 6 top FIVB tacticians, led by Luis Omar Maure and Mr. Beto, and of course joined by our own Paul Bitok and Jafet Munala. From there, then they went to France. The Kenya had the chance of participating in the top notch competition, which is reserved for the top 1 team in every continent, the Challenger Cup. And we had a good run. We didn't win, but we got good experience. We played against Colombia and lost 1-3. But the experience was worth it. And then the team now moved on to Cameroon, and most of the expenses in all this circuit, the 3-month circuit, were taken up by the FIVB, CAVB, and also very ably assisted by our National Olympic Committee of Kenya. Those are our 3 main partners in this. Now, we are after qualifying, because we had the challenge. They could not talk of what happens next until and unless we qualified. Now the team won the Africa Cup of Nations and also qualified for the Olympics. So now we'll sit down with FIVB. We hope to get an intensive 2 months or 2.5 months minimum exposure in a very competitive country. We're hoping they can afford us a trip to Serbia or Japan, one of the ones that are competitive worldwide. So that is part of it. Once we sign the new agreement in the Volleyball Empowerment Project, then we'll start by planning a local domestic head start, the selection of the team, and then some domestic training, and then some exposure. But in between, it's also a very busy year next year, because besides the Olympics, we're also having the All Africa Games, where we are the defending champions. So there is going to be qualifier, although I think we'll be given a bye by virtue of being the champions for the men, for the women, but the men will have to go through the qualifier. So it's going to be a very busy time. Very tricky, but it will be good because it will build towards the crescendo of the Olympic Games, which is the dream of anybody to do well in.
Beach volleyball, what's the plan? Because beach volleyball now is where it gets even trickier. The 2 who are playing together are considered a team. One goes out, that's it.
And there's no substitution. It's unfortunate. They are very strict, but it's very unique. But we have caught up. We have learned the ropes. We are now the African champions. We won the Continental Cup and represented the country in Tokyo. We went to the Olympic Games for the first time in Tokyo, and we are hoping to qualify this time also and go on to Paris 2024. But there is quite a number of competitions. There is a zonal homologated competition which we're hosting in 2 months' time in Mombasa. That would be a very good head start for us to start at home. And then there are a few other build-up matches from which we gain the points. And then we are hoping to qualify, not only just to qualify for the Olympics, but to go to the Olympics and do well. And also at the same time, the same outfit, we'll enter it also for the All Africa Games in March next year in Ghana.
Okay, very interesting how this is going down. Charles Nyaberi, the president of the Kenya Volleyball Federation, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And, coming away from the playoffs, missing the action.
No problem.
I'll tell you, the person who was in here before, Julius Kipkoech, has said that Kitoka hapa, you just got yourself another fan.
Okay.
He's going to Kasarani.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That is good.
He actually mentioned to me that he has to go watch the playoffs once he had that.
Yeah.
So everyone's there at Kasarani for the next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we shall have the new national champions meant.
And the entrance is free. All people are encouraged to come. There are no charges. It's free. And then at the same time also, we encourage our corporate world. Now we have 4 very good products that they can be interested. Besides Malkia Strikers, we have now the Wahome. Then we have the beach volleyball team, men and women. And then we'll also be kicking off our league in October. These are very interesting products that we are ready to talk with the prospective sponsors about. But for now, I'm calling to all Kenyans of sporting love to come to Kasarani. Kasarani is the place to be for the next 3 days. Thank you. And its entry is free.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Remember, if you're not able to make it to Kasarani, here at KBC Channel 1, we shall make sure that you get a full update on all the action that's happening at the playoffs as the KVF season comes to a close. Asante sana, President.
Thank you very much.
So time for us to leave, and Zainab Said is coming up with Tamrini and the interview program, Kurunzi, the news program, Kurunzi Mashinani, and Tamrini, which is our interview program. My name is Daniel Wahome. Our sign language interpreter has been Lensa Odinko. Have a good day. Be blessed.
Company are going to fire me today, then you should at least tell me on what grounds. What do you mean by I'm not up to standard?
Hey, don't force me to do it! Move!
Back off! I'll call them, I swear!
Move! Get out!
All right, enough!
Hey,
I dare you to hurt her! Come on!
Where is she?
My loving family and dearest friends, I hope that you can forgive me for not saying goodbye. It may seem dark, but the sun will shine. Eventually, we'll reach our destination.
Vijana chapakazi wenye nguvu za ziada.
My youth, uko na talent ya kusing, spoken word, kucompose jingles ama any other unexploited artistic talent. Gava through Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy na KBC sasa wamekama up na project ya kupromote usanii called Studio Mashinani. Hizi ni studios ziko grassroots and they are fitted with high quality state-of-the-art equipment where you can produce quality audio and video music content for free. What's more, wana offer mentorship na talanta yako itakuwa promoted on KBC Channel 1 TV, Y254 na radio stations za KBC. Tembelea Studio Mashinani huko Comarox, Langata, Sauti House Mombasa, Kirwara huko Gatanga, Kitui next to Manyanyoni Chiefs Camp na Kisumu City wako hapo KBC station. Usilalie talent. This is your chance to commercialize and popularize your talent through Studio Mashinani. County Government of Turkana welcomes you to the Ehale Center in Lodwar Town for the 7th edition of the Turkana Cultural and Tourism Festival. From 12th to the 14th of October 2023. Come, experience the origin of mankind with its unmatched beauty from the beaches of Lake Turkana to the oil wells of Lokichar. Live on Channel 1, Radio Taifa and KBC Turkana Service.
These are the moments we live for every Friday as we catch up with the world of football.
Manchester City go in front.
With your favorite stars in rivalries like no other that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Learn a few tricks that keep you ahead of the game and spice it all with unforgettable moments on Dunda Dunda. On Saturday, you're in for another treat as we rock your weekend with all sporting disciplines, bringing you insights on what's happening behind the scenes as we share players and athlete stories, preparations, and celebrate their achievements.
Charging to the line. Is it going to be a world record? Yes, it is. She smashed it.
Whatever angle you look at, we've got you covered. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner. Music can be magical. It's the soulful life and gives immense space to us. It has a powerful therapeutic effect on the human psyche. Whether secular or gospel, there's a song for everyone, every occasion, and every emotion.
God bless you.
We got high energy, high frequency, high vibration, so we got you tonight. Don't touch
today's
that
show is definitely gonna be amazing.
This was a fun-filled event with exciting vintage, classic cars and motorcycles.
Under the influence, mix cheng na kizungu ni fluent. Kolabo ya Kapenga na Lumumba tuko mwiki kwa
Matumaini yangu hujambo mtazamaji popote unapotazama KBC Channel 1. Karibu kwenye kurunzi mashinani, ikiwa zimekatika dakika ngapi? 4 baada ya saa 6. Mimi ni Zainab Said, katika lugha ya ishara ni Lensa Odingo. Kumbuka matangazo haya pia yanakujia moja kwa moja kwenye mitandao yetu ya kijamii @KBC Channel 1. Hadi tamati tunakusihi salia nasi. Moja kwa moja tuanza na taarifa kwamba jamii za Murule na Degodia zimetia saini mkataba wa makubaliano wa amani ili kutamatisha mizozo ya kiukoo ambayo imekuwepo.
Miongoni mwa makubaliano yaliyoafikiwa baada ya mazungumzo ya siku 4 ni kusitishwa kwa mapigano, kuvunjwa kwa makundi yaliyojihami na kuimarisha usalama katika barabara za eneo hilo, kuimarisha upatikanaji wa maji na kuondoa vikwazo dhidi ya kuingia maeneo fulani kutafuta kuni. Gavana Khalif ametoa wito kwa jamii kutekeleza kikamilifu makubaliano hayo na kudumisha amani.